this video we smash some images together in Photoshop and buff it up with some paint to make an epic concept art. I had this idea in my head of a pirate ship with a skull for a bow, and at first I wasn't really sure how to do it, so I made some sketches, but I quickly ditched them because I couldn't really get the idea across that I had in my head. So I decided to just start with an image. I grabbed an image from the internet. I had different images. I choose this one because I liked it, the ship that is coming towards you, and there's sort of a fleet on the image. So I thought maybe I can make a pirate fleet that is leaving a harbor, or in the end I decided that they just pillaged the little island or the little harbor behind them. So there's a nice fire going in the end for a nice contrast between the ships and the background, and to get a really focal point to the big ship here. And yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna grab those images and see where it leads me. I kind of like that process. I'm not really strong in sketching out my ideas first and then working from a sketch. I can do it, but I don't know, there's something about this workflow that just resonates with me. Just grab some images, put them together, see if you can get some nice overall composition going, some nice mood. I decided to change the sky for this stormy sky, and the sea as well, quite a rough sea, quite a dark image, which we will lift a little bit with the fire that we now just are adding to get that contrast between the ships and the blues as well. Orange and blue is a really nice contrast together. So yeah, there's something about that method to just work from images. I don't know, it just works for me. Maybe I need to work on my visual library and get some more visual ideas in my head or something. I don't know. I just like this workflow. So yeah, it's just I grabbed a couple of images in total. I think 4 sort of main images: the ships, the skull, the sky, and I used an image for the sea. And then of course some images for the fire as well. I could have painted this fire by hand, but that's a lot of work, and this gives a nice sort of realistic look to the overall image, and that was what I was going for. I didn't really want to go cartoony or stylized. I really wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So that's why I grabbed images from the internet, and yeah, from then on it was just working on the composition. We used the composition of the photograph. We got rid of a lot of the ships. There's like, I think there are at least 10 ships on the original photograph, and we are only using 3. I think these 3 are the main ones. I experimented with adding another ship on the right, so currently the right, so the left of the image, to sort of counterbalance that bright orange red fire going there, because it tends to lead the eye off the canvas. But in the end I decided to make a bigger contrast between or behind the skull to get some more fire going there, and I think that's okay. That leads the eye towards the ship, to sort of the main ship. And from now on it's just mainly refining the image, adding some detail, adding sort of an anchor. Wasn't really sure how to do it, but I thought, you know what, if the chain goes from the eye, it may be in little detail. In hindsight I probably should have put an anchor on the other side as well. Maybe it could have been a little bit bigger. I didn't really have enough time to work on it. This week was quite rough, not enough sleep, so my ADD was quite a struggle to get this image done. But in the end I think it's decent. Hopefully we can get it under control for later images. But overall I think I learned a lot. I sort of studied images, or while I was doing these little masts, or I don't know if they probably have a special name, but I'm no expert in tall ships. But I looked up images of those ships and see how the rigging is working and the ropes and stuff like that, and here you see me add those little ropes and little details, and I think those go a long way. They are probably not in exactly the right position, But let's be honest, how many people do know how a tall ship is rigged exactly? There's probably a couple of thousand people in the world who know that. Maybe some history experts, but it makes it look believable. These little ropes. And here you see me adding a white layer set to color, so I can check the values of the image. And then I noticed that sort of the darkest value was on the ship on the right, and I tried to fix that a little bit, get some more contrast on the image. Overall, it was a little bit too much, so I toned it down, except for the big ship here, we're focusing on right now. And to increase sort of the contrast, to make it more of a focal point, I decided to add some more fire in the background, so there's a really bright background behind the ship, so your eye is drawn to that position. So yeah, I will clean up those other two ships, especially the one on the right. It's still really rough. You see me experimenting a lot with different brushes. I probably could have cut that, but I was just struggling to get some lighting effects, to get some light on the sky, because the fire is probably reflecting on the sky. You see me cleaning up that ship there in the background, adding the rigging and stuff like that. That's the downside of using images. Sometimes you end up with stuff that you don't want, so you have to manually paint it out. Although it's relatively quick, it's just do it, get the stuff done, and then it's probably okay. It's not that hard. It just takes a little bit of time. I'm really bad at taking time at stuff, so for me it's quite hard. That's definitely my number one problem right now, is to spend more time on stuff. I think I can do it. I think I have the skills, sort of relatively okay skills, but I need to work on putting more time in my paintings. I want to do a painting like this in 3 hours. I did it in 3 hours, I think, something like that. But I could have probably spent 6 hours on it and made it even better. So encourage me on that, please, someone. Anyway, I think I talked about most of it. It's now just adding some highlights, the reflection of the fire on the ships and stuff like that. I add some lights on the ship in the end, because I thought they'd probably have a top light in the mast and stuff like that. So in the end, I add that as well. Some flattering from the waves, which is reflecting that fire as well a little bit, not too much. Don't want to draw too much attention to that ship there. It's complementary. It's support the idea that it is a fleet leaving a pillaged land behind. But yeah, that's about it. There you see me add the lights, add some glow to it, set the layer to, I don't know which layer setting I use, screen something probably, make it really glow, and I think it adds a nice little bit of detail to the image. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I like the outcome of this one. I struggled a lot, but in the end I think it was worth it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you next week. Bye!